Hello and welcome to the ICU TV's main news. Today, Friday, the 15th day of May 2026. Remember, we're here to keep you informed and inspired. Now, to keep you informed, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Zrdc successfully concludes Innovations Day 2026. The Bank of Zambia cuts a monetary policy rate to 13.25%. Procurement officers urged to uphold compliance. And of course, in our international news, we have Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi versus criticism over logistical failures. And for the sports fanatics, Nkandu hails power Dynamos for Continental success and league title defense. On the other side is the details. Don't go away.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Together with the memory mango on the transmission box. The Zambia Research and Development Center Zrdc has successfully concluded the second day and final of the Innovations Day 2026 held under the theme Innovation 360. The event brought together students, researchers, innovators, as well as entrepreneurs to showcase solutions aimed at addressing real-world challenges through research and technology. Speaking during the final day of the event, the Zrdc representative, Mr. Castro Lisole, said the innovation plays an important role in promoting sustainable development and creating practical solutions for communities. He noted that the Innovation 360 continues to provide a platform for young innovators to showcase their ideas, exchange knowledge, and collaborate across different sectors. On the first day of the event, 19 projects were presented, 10 projects advancing to the next stage. On the second and final day, 12 projects were showcased, while 7 projects progressed after impressing the judges with their creativity and potential impact. Meanwhile, participants whose projects did not qualify were encouraged to continue improving their innovations through further research and development. Zrdc also thanked exhibitors, judges, speakers, as well as stakeholders for contributing to the successful hosting of the Innovations Day 2026. In other news, the Bank of Zambia has reduced the monetary policy rate to 13.25%, making the third consecutive rate cut aimed at stimulating economic growth and easing the cost of borrowing for business and households. Here's a report.
The third consecutive time, the Bank of Zambia has reduced its monetary policy rate, cutting it by 25 basis points from 13.5% to 13.25% at its Monetary Policy Committee meeting held on 11th and 12th May 2026. Governor Denny Kadyalya announced the decision at a media briefing at the Bank of Zambia in Lusaka on the 13th May 2026. This is the lowest this rate has been since mid-2024. And every time it drops, something important happens. For every Zambian who has ever walked into a bank and wondered why or whether they can afford a loan.
Is an appropriate stance of monetary policy. I think the best interpretation of that is that given where inflation is, even with this 25 basis points reduction, monetary policy still remains very active and effective.
Let us explain exactly what this means and why it matters. Now, banks do not print money. They borrow it. When a commercial bank needs funds to lend to you, it borrows from the Bank of Zambia, which is the central bank, the bank that controls all the other banks. The rate at which commercial banks borrow that money is called the monetary policy rate. When that rate goes up, borrowing becomes more expensive for banks, and they pass that cost on to you through higher loan interest rates. Okay? When that rate comes down, borrowing becomes cheaper for banks, and that should translate into cheaper loans for citizens and businesses. This is the mechanism. The Bank of Zambia lowers its rates. Commercial banks can now access money more cheaply. That cheaper money should then flow to the citizens who wants a loan to buy a house, start a business, buy equipment, or expand a farm. So what is driving this downward movement? The Monetary Policy Committee cited two key factors in arriving at this particular decision. Number one, first, the expected favorable maize harvest during the current crop marketing season, which keeps food prices stable. Second, the observed relative stability in the exchange rate of the kwacha against the US dollar. A stable and stronger kwacha makes imports cheaper.
And this week,
the Ministry of Education has held an orientation workshop for newly recruited procurement officers and provincial education officers aimed at strengthening procurement compliance in the districts and schools. I was at the workshop this afternoon and forward the following report.
The Ministry of Education has held an orientation workshop for newly recruited procurement officers and provincial education officers aimed at strengthening procurement compliance in all districts and schools. The workshop follows the ministry's directive ending the use of teachers in procurement duties and reinforcing the requirement for procurement functions to only be handled by qualified personnel in line with the Public Procurement Act. The head of procurement at the Ministry of Education, Mr. Alfred Pongolani, said the ministry would continue engaging the Treasury while highlighting the importance of the workshop in strengthening procurement systems.
To continue lobbying from the Treasury so that we can be able to employ more procurement officers, so that we become like our colleagues in health who have got procurement officers even in hospitals, when we can have procurement officers in schools. The workshop is so beneficial in that we got every staff who is in procurement in the education sector. And we have been having this workshop for the past 3 days. Today is the 4th day and we are ending today.
Speaking during the workshop, the founding president of the Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply, Mr. Michel Kalma, emphasized professionalism, humility and hands-on experience, stating that academic qualifications are irrelevant without performance. He further urged strict procurement compliance, warning that those found wanting will face the law.
District education board secretaries, the DEBs, and all the headmasters at boarding schools, they must take this as a serious warning that the law will not allow a non-qualified procurement person to act and do procurement. It's against the law. But because of the inadequacy, they may be allowed. But let them take caution that when they are found wanting, let them not cry foul that I wasn't aware of procurement regulations and the law.
Meanwhile, Zambia Institute of Purchasing and Supply President Mr. Daniel Kamamba commended the ministry for organizing the orientation workshop for newly recruited procurement officers.
I have to thank the Ministry of Education by coming up with this particular initiative of bringing all the procurement officers that are newly recruited. You know, this is a fantastic work, because what's happening now is that we're trying to develop a capacity of these officers. Remember, they've just come from schools and they have no idea of what the industry operates like, but the Ministry of Education has taken it upon itself
to bring all these people from all over the country, in all the districts across the country, to come and be oriented.
Speaking on behalf of the newly recruited officers, Nancy Machinga expressed gratitude to government for the employment opportunity and pledged to implement the knowledge acquired during the workshop.
So we are going there to make a change, and we can assure the government to say we are going to work to the best of our abilities. We are grateful that we've been trained now, so we are going in there to implement everything that has been taught to us.
For ICU TV News in Lusaka, I am Nisha Kinjakwa Edgars.
The dissolution of parliament has officially marked the start of Zambia's election period ahead of the general elections. Under the constitution, the president dissolves a parliament to pave way for the election of new leaders. Following the dissolution, all members of parliament lose their seats in parliamentary business, which comes to an end until a new National Assembly is constituted after the elections. Ruth J. Nirongo has more in the following explanation.
The dissolution of parliament is an important constitutional process in Zambia that officially marks the end of the life of the National Assembly of Zambia ahead of the general elections. Under the constitution, parliament is dissolved by the president before its expiry of 5 years terms to pave way for the holding of elections. Once dissolved, all members loses their seat, and the parliamentary activities such as the debates, committee meetings, and the passing of law come to an end until a new parliament is constituted after the elections. The process is designed to prepare the country for the democratic election of new leaders and representatives. It gives citizens an opportunity to assess the performance of the elected officials and decide whether to retain them in office or elect new leaders. Despite the dissolution of parliament, government operation continues normally. The executive arm of government led by the president and cabinet remains in the office to ensure the continued delivery of public service and administration during the election period. Political analyst says the dissolution of parliament is a key part of Zambia's democratic system because it promotes accountability, political participation, and a peaceful leadership transitions to elections. The process also signals the beginning of an active election period as political parties intensify campaigns ahead of the general elections.
Well, that story brings us to the very first set of commercials, and still ahead in the news, Nkandu District Hospital Management given an ultimatum to improve sanitation. More after this break.
The Information and Communications University is striving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Thank you so much for staying tuned to ICU TV's main news. In our local stories, Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Tuesday Walia has given Nkandu District Hospital Management a 14-day ultimatum to improve sanitation at the health facility. Dr. Walia noted with concern that the toilet facilities at the hospital are not well maintained, with most of them having been non-functional for some time. Speaking when he inspected the health facility in Nkandu, Dr. Walia lamented that patients at the hospital are forced to use buckets and water drums in order due to poor water reticulation systems of the toilets. He charged that the situation observed is below government's expected standards of a health facility, stating that the management should address the sanitation problem within 14 days. Still in local stories, a Lusaka man accused of killing his father following a domestic dispute has been arrested after spending several months invading law enforcement. Authorities confirmed that the suspect was taken into custody following an extreme manhunt linked to the fatal incident which shocked the local community. ICU TV's Beauty Nkonde brings us more in this report.
Police in Lusaka have arrested Collins Lungu, a man accused of killing his own father after allegedly going into hiding for several months following the incident. According to Police Public Relations Officer Godfrey Chilavi, the suspect was apprehended on May 12, 2026 in Bauleni compound after police received intelligence that he had resurfaced in the area. The incident is alleged to have occurred on September 4, 2025 during a domestic dispute after the deceased 63-year-old Chizola Lungu reportedly stopped his son from using a phone charger. Police say Collins Lungu allegedly became violent and assaulted his father using fists, a grill door and a wooden bench, causing serious injuries from which the victim later died. Following the incident, the suspect reportedly fled to an unknown district in Eastern Province where he remained in hiding until his recent arrest. He is currently in police custody and is expected to appear in court soon. This has left many residents shocked and raised concern over domestic violence and unresolved family conflicts. For ICU TV News, I am Beauty Nkonde.
You're still watching the ICU TV's main news tonight on the 15th day of May 2026. We'll take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at what is happening in the international space. Stay tuned.
We kickstart your day with our headline pick with the top stories making news.
Then we go deeper in our story pick where we break down issues that matter the most to you.
From the Health Desk, we share simple tips to keep you healthy and informed.
For plus a fitness minute to get your body moving before the day begins.
And trending now, what's hot on social media?
Hello Zambia, my name is Amina Mutambo.
And I am Maluwa Erje Mwalamajende, and we bring to your screens the ICU TV Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned to our main news. We continue with the news. The Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi faced criticism over major logistical failures after reports emerged that several high-profile guests, including Rwandan President Paul Kagame, were caught in the chaos during the event. CNN correspondent Larry Madowo reported that Kagame was briefly stranded outside at one point, while a Total Energies CEO Patrick Poyani was seen arguing with security after allegedly being blocked from entering a session despite being invited. Videos from the summit showed growing frustrations among dignitaries, executives, with reports that some officials left without speaking as the event descended into confusion, sparking criticism of the summit's organization. Still in international news, the Democratic Republic of Congo's state-owned cobalt agency EGC is seeking new alliances with major mining companies to combat illegal artisanal mining accidents. EGC plans to collaborate with industrial operators to designate specific areas with mining concessions for regulated artisanal mining, aiming to provide safer conditions and reduce unlawful operations. Illegal artisanal mining poses operational and safety risks for larger mining firms, and addressing it has been challenging due to the scale of informal labor. EGC recently signed its first contract with Eurasian Resources Group and is negotiating partnerships with other international companies like Chintune Congo Resources and Virtus Minerals. We've come to our final break, and when we come back, it is international sports news. I beg your pardon. Stay tuned. Outgoing Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkandu has praised Dynamos Football Club for promoting Zambia's image on the continental stage through their performances in the CAF Champions League. Mr. Nkandu said the club's participation in the competition provided valuable experience which contributed to their strong performance in the domestic league, and he also noted that Dynamos used the continental exposure to strengthen their squad and defend their league title. He also commended the CEC group for its continued support to the club, saying that its investment in sports development has played a key role in the team's success. He added that this aligns with government's broader agenda of promoting talent and development in the country. Mr. Nkandu further encouraged Dynamos to continue excelling on the continental stage and urged fans to support the team during the final league match and coronation ceremony scheduled for May 23rd, 2026 at Arthur Davis Stadium in Kitwe. This sports item from Ghana, or rather Arthur Davis, brings us to the very end of the news, but I've got headlines on the other side.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Well, as we end tonight's main news, here is a recap of the stories making headlines. Zrdc successfully concludes Innovations Day 2026. Bank of Zambia cuts a monetary policy rate to 13.25%. Procurement officers urged to uphold compliance. And of course, in international news, Africa Forward Summit in Nairobi faces criticism over logistical failures. And finally, in international news, Nkandu hails Dynamos for continental success and league title defense. This has been the main news on ICU TV tonight, Friday, 15th day of May 2026. Remember to do not drink and drive. Be road smart because life is precious. Now, on behalf of the entire ICU TV crew and of course on the very behalf of my director, Memory Mango, I am Mishe Kinjaka Eggers. Good night and God bless.